Hi, you've clicked onto today's tropical tidbit for Tuesday. A couple things to look at over here in the Atlantic. This is Invest 93L out in the central Atlantic, and this is still toying with tropical depression status, needs more convection near the center of the circulation. This will be eventually recurving out, and I think this could still make a run at named status if we get a shortwave trough diving in here, enhancing it, giving upward divergence aloft, help it overcome the dry air. We could see some convection fire with this as it gets up here, and we could see this still try to get make a run at getting named. This down here is interesting. Little disturbance with a tropical wave in the intertropical convergence zone. I would have this yellow hatched right now, but we'll have to see how it goes. It may move into a confluent environment aloft over here, which might suppress convection. But I'd still be watching this. Just keep an eye on it. It's got a nice little circulation trying to form with it. And this is Invest 94L over here off Southwest 4. And this is the big story today. Zooming in on this, we see a very nice spin developing over here. To me, this looks like a tropical depression. This has a closed circulation, low of 1008 millibars, which is 5 millibars lower than the surrounding pressures. So this has a nice little center going into it. You got westerly inflow coming in from its west side, and if you get west winds in the Gulf of Mexico during the summer, there's definitely something brewing nearby. And you can see this really starting to wind up. You can see hints of bands trying to come into it right now. The radar doesn't show the banding features are too impressive, but the center's up here somewhere. You can see lots of heavy rain getting generated with this over the Keys. So we're going to have to watch this. This will eventually be curving up probably into Louisiana in about 2 days or so, give or take a few hours. And if we go over here to the water vapor, 94L surface centers in here, you got an upper low over here. Now this is really interesting because the models, they handle the 200 millibar pattern poorly in situations like this, and this proved to be true again. They had this upper low over here yesterday backing around south of the Keys and coming like this south of 94L surface center. It has not done that. It has come into here, but the general idea of the models is that a broad upper trough still exists in here, and that this will be propagating westward, and this may still be true. If this comes around, it gets absorbed in a broader upper trough that backs this way. So their general synoptic situation may still prove true, but here's the deal. If this can try to strengthen, this would have to back this way and have a ridge build up in its wake over here if convection continue firing with this, and get it to really generate a nice warm core over here and try to develop and feed back. But if this comes back this way, the problem will become this ridge, the deep layer ridge over the southeastern US. You see the easterly winds aloft over here on its southern flank. If this doesn't build a strong enough ridge really fast, these winds are going to start shearing it from the east and northeast, just like with Bonnie. And this is the problem for this system, and why I don't think it'll get too awful strong unless it really tries to go to town right now. It needs to get this out of the way, balloon up this ridge, and really try to feed back over here. And this should, again, come into Louisiana in a couple of days. I could see it easily becoming a tropical storm. It's probably a tropical depression right now. You can make an argument that it's subtropical because of this upper low over here, cold air aloft, but I would have to defer, because if you look at the upper clouds over here, they're arcing this way, coming out of the thunderstorms, and that implies ridging aloft, warm air aloft. You've got an upper low interacting with it to the north, but overall this system has a warm core in here. It's just interacting with dry air and upper low over here. Once this backs out of the way, you'll see the ridging develop, and this will be a fully warm core system. The problem will be the shearing winds on the south side of this big high, which is too far south for the storm zone good over here. So that's probably why the models aren't winding this up a whole lot, and shouldn't be a huge deal. I don't see this really becoming a hurricane or anything significantly strong, but it could be a tropical storm, and people in this area of the coastline should be ready for such a thing coming ashore in a couple of days. Now, other things we need to look out for down the road over here. This is the GFS day 5. There's going to be a front dropping down off the eastern seaboard over here, and this weekend less of a concern will be this broad low developing along the front over here. This is just the GFS version, but the European shows this as well, and we'll have to watch to see if this can develop subtropical or tropical characteristics on its way out to the northeast over here. Notice 93L up here, a nice wound up little tight system on the GFS here by day 5 on its way out to the northeast, but you can see even the model thinks this might get stronger than it currently is. and out to day 8 over here, the same front is getting stretched out here, and we'll have to watch to see if some development can occur either in the Gulf of Mexico or off the southeast coast in another homebrew situation, homegrown mischief. Might have to watch for that yet again. You got ridging developing to the north. Watch underneath, see if we can get something along the old frontal boundary. Now I'm going to show you day 16 again on the GFS, and I keep doing this for several reasons. Now, couple weak systems, right? Nothing really big on the model, not much, okay? But look at the ensemble mean for day 16 on the same run. Check this out over here. These colors represent the mean spread within the ensemble members. In other words, it represents how much they disagree on a certain variable. Here this is mean sea level pressure, and these colors over here, the orange and blues, represent a disagreement of 6 to 8 millibars between the ensemble members. And look at the little closed 1012 isobar over here. This is indicating, when you see this kind of a disagreement in the tropics, what this means is that the majority of the ensemble members are predicting a hurricane in this location in 16 days. And this is about the 5th or 6th run in a row that I've been seeing this. I've been holding off on mentioning it, but I've been seeing this color bomb in here on day 16, day 10 through 16 for several runs in a row now. And look at the precipitation mean over here. I have never seen something like this on the ensemble mean 16 days out. This kind of precipitation, you got a big storm in here that the ensembles are predicting north of the Caribbean in 16 days. Now, the point in showing you this is what exactly? Well, it normally wouldn't mean much to look at something this far out, but if we go over here to the 500 millibar, you can see the storm in here, but I want you to take a look at the flow in the jet stream up here to the north. Notice how zonal and flat this is, almost a straight line across. Now, in the summertime, there's always a mean trough over the northeast because of all the heat being built over the continent over here, so you always have a mean trough near New England. And when you get the flow zonal like this, what that has to mean is that there's mean positive height anomalies near the northeastern U.S., creating the zonal flow and net ridging over here. And indeed, if we go and look at the anomaly forecast at 500 millibars from the GFS for day 16, there's the positive anomaly over the northeastern U.S. There's the blip down here, and this is a problem. When you get the positive over here, we've been talking about this, when the pattern shifts. Remember, I showed you a few days ago the comparison between June and July. June had the positive down here. July had it getting more spread out and trying to move to the north. August should see it come up here. When you see this, you watch underneath for tropical trouble. If you get this up here, the big seasons, all of the big seasons, especially for U.S. landfalls, you get the positive in here, the ridging, you get stuff coming underneath, and you can get serious problems. All the big Carolina hurricanes had a pattern like this, and you can see the blip, and this is coming right in. This could be a problem with this pattern that the GFS is now catching on to, with the ridging developing over here. This is something you always want to watch for. Always watch underneath. You could see something big in here if this pattern verifies. And looking at the MJO, again, upward motion, just abundance of greens over here, abundance of upward motion. And this is a pattern that could set up something big before the month is over. And this is interesting over here, day 10, big green paint bomb right off West Africa. This could be the model perhaps picking up on a little something, trying to come off the continent and then moving west-northwest, and then perhaps ending up over here a week later. Alright, so this is something that's way down the road over here, but the final week of August could have some big things to show us with this stuff going on. And look at the low pressures. Look at the 1012 isobar way up here. This is 4 to 6 millibars below normal in the tropics. This pattern is really firing up, and I hope everyone is ready, because this season is no dud. It just is no dud. You do not want to see this kind of stuff over here. You don't want to see the big positive over here with storms coming underneath on the ensemble mean 16 days out, showing a major hurricane. That's not something you see every day. The model is really trying to get a point across. The message of the model is that trouble is afoot. So we will be keeping an eye on it. We shall see what happens. Thanks for watching.